Hey YouTube, French Fried Taters here. Before we dive into today's guide, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who watched my last video. That video got over 3.3 thousand views. I mean, that's insane to me. It's far more than I ever expected. I also want to wish you all a happy holidays. It's January 1st, so here's to a great year ahead. I'm happy to share that my channel more than doubled its subscribers from the last video, jumping from 41 to 90. That kind of support means the world to me, seriously, and I can't thank you guys enough. I plan on posting at least one video a week from now on, typically on weekends, so stay tuned. This one is a little delayed because I had company over for the holidays, but I'm excited to be back and bringing you more Path of Exile 2 content. Today I'm starting a new series of guides that dive into every mechanic of Path of Exile 2, starting with the fundamental mechanics today. This guide is designed to help new and returning players understand the game's core mechanics and ensure you're prepared for the challenges of Rayclast. We'll start with a summary of the basics, then break down each mechanic in detail. Let's start with the overview. Path of Exile 2 introduces an intricate set of mechanics that define how you play and progress in the game. These include life, mana, and spirit resources, attributes such as strength, dexterity, and intelligence, movement speed, the passive skill tree and ascendancy classes, weapon sets, gold, vendors, and experience. Each of these fundamental systems play a vital role in shaping your character and build. Now let's dive into the details. Life, also referred to as health or hit points, is your primary health source. It decreases as you take damage, and hitting 0 means death. Players respawn at a town or checkpoint, while monsters die permanently unless revived by specific abilities or turned into minions. You can also be revived by a party member if you're in a party. For your starting life, level 1 characters begin with 28 life no matter which class, which increases by 12 per level and 2 per strength point. For recovery, life can be replenished through life flasks, passive regeneration, or life leech from enemies. Entering a town or hideout fully restores life, while using the well in town fully restores all charges in your flasks. In addition, there are 2 states that life can be in, low life or full life. Low life is triggered at 35% of maximum life or lower. Some skills and mechanics interact with this state. Full life is active when life is at 100% or higher through overflow. Like low life, some skills and mechanics interact with this state, and life leech and things like that stop working at full life. Moving on to mana. Mana is a resource used to activate most skills. Unlike other games, mana is spent through the skill's duration in Path of Exile 2 rather than upfront, allowing cancellation without full expenditure. For your starting mana, characters start with 34 mana, gaining +4 per level and +2 per intelligent point. For regeneration, by default, all characters regenerate 4% of their maximum mana per second. Like life, mana also has states. For low mana, it is active at 35% of maximum mana or lower, and then full mana is 100% or higher through overflow, just like life. Moving on to spirit. This is a major change from Path of Exile 1. It was only life and mana in Path of Exile 1, and you would reserve mana to have persistent buffs. However, in Path of Exile 2, Spirit is a unique resource used for persistent buffs, summoning permanent minions, and enabling trigger metagems. Unlike life and mana, Spirit is not innate and must be granted by gear, quest rewards, or unique items. Characters start with 0 Spirit by default. You can gain Spirit through certain items like scepters, amulets, and chess pieces, and you can also gain Spirit through quest rewards such as gem skulls found in Act 1 and Act 3. And then some items with implicit buffs or ascendancy skills using spirits do not require reservation, allowing some flexibility within builds. Moving on to attributes. The 3 core attributes, strength, dexterity, and intelligence, are central to character progression and gear requirements. Strength increases your life by +2 per point and is required for armor gear and melee-focused weapons and skills. Dexterity gives you accuracy, +5 per point, and is necessary for evasion gear and range-oriented equipment and skills. And then intelligence boosts mana +2 per point and is key for energy shield gear and spellcasting tools. Attributes can be gained through gear, passive nodes, and quest rewards. Moving on to movement speed. Movement speed determines how quickly your character moves, including walking, running, and dodge rolls. Base speed is calculated as 100% with modifiers applied to this value. Strength-based body armors and shields impose flat penalties, -5% for armor and strength gear, and -3% for others. Boots are the only item type that can roll movement speed modifiers, making them critical for mobility focused builds. Here's an example of the formula. A character with -3% penalty from gear and plus 20% boots has 116.4% movement speed, or basically 16.4% increased movement speed. Moving on to the passive skill tree. The passive skill tree is the backbone of character customization, offering nodes that enhance attributes, damage, survivability, utility, you name it. For the node types, we'll start with attribute nodes, which add +5 to strength, dexterity, or intelligence depending on which one you choose, and can be freely changed for half the gold cost of respecking. Keystone nodes alter gameplay mechanics, often with powerful effects balanced by drawbacks. Jewel sockets allow insertion of jewels for additional bonuses. And then small and notable nodes provide incremental and specialized stat boosts. Respecking in the passive skill tree requires gold, with costs increasing as your character levels. Flexibility is balanced with resource management. Some points can also be allocated separately for different weapon sets, so that the skill tree changes when you either swap to a different weapon or change into a different form, like the demon form now or the druid shapeshifting forms that we will have later when they add the druid to the game. Moving on to Ascendancy classes. Ascendencies are specialized subclasses unlocked through Ascension trials. Each class has 2 Ascendencies currently, allowing for deep archetype customization. There's going to be a lot more. Apparently they plan to do 6 per class, which is insane. Ascendencies use skill points like the passive skill tree, and each trial rewards 2 Ascendancy skill points up to a maximum of 8. These trees are separate, smaller trees focused on the theme of the Ascendancy. Nodes offer powerful bonuses that enhance your chosen playstyle. Note that these are irreversible. Once an Ascendancy is selected, it cannot currently be changed. Now let's take a look at weapon sets. Weapon sets allow players to equip 2 different weapon setups, switching between them seamlessly through gameplay. Each weapon can have its own assigned skills, swapping automatically when those skills are used. You can also manually swap by the default X key on the keyboard. And then, as mentioned earlier, there are weapon-specific passive points that can be activated in the skill tree when you swap to those weapons. Moving on to gold. Gold serves as the primary currency for trading and respecking with vendors specifically. Gold currently cannot be traded between players. It sticks with you and your account only. Gold is automatically added to your account when either picked up or given to you by a vendor for selling an item, and it's shared across all characters in the same league. You can use it to respec passive points, purchase items and gamble for gear upgrades with vendors, or modify attribute nodes on the passive tree. As far as vendors go, there are 3 types in each town. There's going to be a weapon and armor vendor which sells martial gear. There's going to be a caster trinket vendor which offer magical gear, flasks, and charms. And then there's going to be a gambler which provide randomized items for gold. Note that every vendor inventory will update when you level up, so do go back and check them at each level because they often do have some good stuff for sale. And then our last fundamental basic mechanic is experience, which is earned by defeating monsters with the amount based on their level and rarity. If you gain enough experience, your level increases, granting passive skill points and improving character stats as we talked about earlier. Experience requirements grow with each level, encouraging efficient farming and progression strategies. Basically meaning you want to be in an area that's relatively close to your level to gain the most optimal experience possible. And that pretty much does it for the basics, so that's our comprehensive look at the fundamental mechanics of Path of Exile 2. We're going to be diving much deeper into more detailed stuff, so if I lost you on this one, stay tuned, because our next one is going to be about currency and crafting orbs. Understanding all these systems is crucial for building a strong character and tackling the game's challenges, and since this game is so complex, I just wanted to not skip anything, so that's why we started with the basics here. If you did find this useful, consider subscribing. They have been rolling in, so I really appreciate it, guys, and like I said, I'm going to be knocking out another one about currency and crafting here very soon, so please stay tuned. Thanks again, and Happy New Year, Exiles. Peace.